a bow
Not
for
to
a
us.
spear.
We can smell your ass from here.
I never
I don't
have
know
to
what
worry
you're
about
talking
money,
about.
so.
That's just his scent.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, so I have a question. Was it this campaign that we were someone found something that does campsite, or was that a different campmpaign? It was like a box that
I don't know
Oh,
anything
that's a different
about this,
campaign.
so
It's a different
it seems
campaign?
different.
You
Was
mean
that-
like a box that sets up your camp and everything and then closes
Yeah.
back down? No, that's
was
not
that
us.
was
We
that
got the storage chest.
Yeah, we have the storage chest
We have a
that
flying
we
carpet.
can't really take. I want one of those campsite boxes. What's the campsite box called, Jason? Yeah, the
Campsite
box
box.
that sets up your campsite. That you say a word. Which campaign was that in? You do too.
7 by 4. It's 7 foot long by 4 feet wide.
Your
flying carpet.
flying carpet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we set
Which
all
campsite
crisscross
box?
applesauce, we might be able to fit.
Which
the
game was
mini-
that?
Well, we also have a dragon, so we can fly with the.
It's arena number 5.
Maybe it is
can-
arena number 5.
She's in the
a couple more
multiverse.
levels.
She's the
Couple
only
more
character I know
levels.
that's in the multiverse. Like she's in 15 different campaigns, and it's the same character.
Yeah.
I
It's just
I can
different
summon
parts.
us a bunch of flying beasts to ride on.
It's different
see,
parts
that's
of
cool.
her.
Oh, fun.
Yeah,
Different
because
parts
some of you
her,
guys can fly, and
Is that in your bag of tricks?
My brother has his
No,
character.
that's just
Is
one
that in
of
your
the
bag of
spells.
tricks? Oh, okay.
My brother
Yeah,
has
I
I
his
totally
can
want
character.
Summon
that
up
bag
to
of
a
tricks.
certain
I totally
CR.
want a bag of
He's only got a +2 in that right
And
now.
we're here.
And we're here, everybody.
Yay.
So the funny part was I did not have the proper mutes on, so everybody could hear during the intro the nightmare that is herding cats into a gaming session. The fun part that it takes. The other thing too is we started a little bit late because I'm not one of those folks that shames people that are obviously late all the time, every single time that we play. But you know, it's all good. Philip's like, "Fuck you, Baldric. Fuck you." Hey all, welcome and happy Monday. For those of you that are fortunate or unfortunate, or in the Southwest, it's hot. It's really hot. It's a little too hot for June, if you ask me. Normally, we enjoy June gloom at this point. Instead, we're getting who left the oven on and why did they leave the oven on.
Someone forgot to pay the AC bill.
Yeah,
If
no
it's this
kidding.
hot,
14
wait till
in
July.
Palm
That
Springs.
shit's gonna be fire.
Well, if it's this hot already in June, yeah, we're in for a long summer. The dry heat doesn't bother me that much. It's just, you know, sometimes when we get early heat, July usually is humidity. And, well, we all know how much fun the humidity is when you can actually watch everybody melt. So, hey, everybody, happy Monday. Thanks for joining us here on FaeRun Reborn. Tonight's episode should be very interesting. I'm going to see how many of them I could definitely TPK tonight.
Hey, no TPK. So
I've come to the realization less work for me means more TPK for my games. So what I'm going to do... No, I wouldn't do that. I'd never do anything like that. Ever. So happy Monday, everybody. Depending on your perspective, for some people, Monday is happy. For some, it's not. Welcome to our game this evening. Everything you need to know about us is down below. I do have a couple folks that will do some quick reminders on their creative channels, but down below is all the abouts, panel clicks, and everything you need to know about us. Join our Discord. We've got new dice giveaway this week for our Discord and Bring Your Dice channel. Go roll a D1000 and earn a chance to win a set of dice. We're giving away unicorn dice this time, so it should be pretty cool. Viridian Dice, last week, the CEO of Viridian Dice popped over and did the roll for us, which was pretty cool. That was a lot of fun. I've had a chance to speak with him and their social media group, and the Snurts in our Discord, I believe, is the head of their social media, and she will be rolling our giveaway for this Friday, so that should be kind of fun. But before we get started, I know we're running a little bit late, but that's okay. It's summertime. Most of us are on the West Coast. Did Max ever show up? Is Max with us? Max, are you there? Do you exist?
Shut up.
Oh, hey, son. How are you?
Shut up.
Good. I could see he's in his
Normal mood.
He's in his normal mood. The
Fine
teenager.
Form. He's in fine form.
He's in teenage form, as they say. So we've got cameras, we've got avatars, we've got all the fun things that make. Hopefully you'll hang around for tonight. Should be interesting. I know we're technically on episode 7 tonight, but to give everybody a heads up, this group has been meeting for quite some time now. The original group goes back over a year, and then we've been adding people off and on as we rebooted the campaign a while ago as well. I think this group has been meeting for a bit now. I think the main group of Arena, Gulshaw, and Max, as well as Derek, and then we eventually added Valev, and we added Kai. But before we get going, Valev, tell us about TGAC, the General Adventuring Company.
The let's try that again.
Yeah.
Hi, all. I'm Cesare. The General Adventuring Company is a podcast video production similar to this that I am a part of. And we launched a couple of weeks ago, which was super exciting and terrifying and exciting. I said that already. But it's really fun. If you would like to check it out, it is very much the kind of comedy of Guardians of the Galaxy with the kind of like world politics of Game of Thrones. So it's very cool. I play a Dragonborn, which is so much fun, named Jasper. And if you want to check it out, the links are down below in the things, the General Adventure Company. But you can see our social medias are at TGAC Pod, P-O-D, podcast, which means you can also check it out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and so forth.
And the
General Adventuring
YouTubes.
Company.
And the YouTubes.
And the YouTubes.
And
Yes,
the
it is
YouTubes.
actually a pre-produced show, so we cut out a lot of mechanics or any downtime, and we try and make it very appealing to the listener as well as the visual and such. We had sound effects and just a lot of little things to kind of enhance the overall of
experience
it. So check
of
it out.
All of this in
All of
one. All of this.
Yes.
So with that, Kai, why don't you go ahead and talk to us about some of your projects you got going on?
Well, the main one, I finally actually got to record my session 0 of the podcast. So we're moving right along with that.
Nice.
It's for A Seat at the Table, which is ASAP Pod on Twitter. So anybody who wants to look that up, you'll get first notification on Twitter as soon as we drop in the fall. I actually got to record with Nari's character for a very brief moment at the end of it. She's from Into the Night podcast, and she's just got a great voice, great stories they do on that one. But other than that, I mostly play with you guys and just a bunch of random fun games.
Nice. And Ivar, talk about some of that artwork that you got going on.
Yeah, I got my original artwork for sale on t-shirts or what have you on Redbubble at Dark One Designs. Most of it's based on the crazy campaigns that I've been in the last couple of years. So
Crazy is right. Which brings us to our recap for tonight. The team finally taking advantage of some downtime. The caravan had headed east towards the Maw Chasm to join in the final activities of final construction of the Maw Chasm. On the way there, ran into some interesting creatures, some portals reappearing, and some creatures that, things that we thought no longer existed, but could do or could work, or it would seem that the arcane nature of the weave seems to be reappearing in its own kind of special little way. However, it was here that Gul Shah received another revelation of the hammer that he was given, while banishing and at the same time understanding the lore or nature of the creature that was discovered. And it definitely originated from Turcasta's lair over by the Jasper mining colony. The team regathered their efforts and rejoined the caravan. The caravan finally made its way into Wolvesville. Once into Wolvesville, some long-needed respite, some rest and other activities. They also met a interesting individual, the Regent Magistrate of Wolvesville. It goes by the name of Balama Marivalde. Seems to be a bardish nature individual. Spent most of the time either flirting with or attempting to flirt with most of the party members. She seemed quite ambiguous as to whoever was available. But while at the same time, Gul Shah inherited a family heirloom that has been given to him primarily because his entire clan, once done with delivering all the goods to the Maw Chasm construction site, will begin their long journey back to the Chultian desert, where they will remain there for another season before returning in the future after the conclusion of the summer and beginning of the fall season. Our team took some time to learn a bit about Woolsville. It's mostly a resource town, rich in sheep, goats, as well as timber and other resources that are predominantly being harvested, sent back to Whist, where those goods are consumed or sent out to the other outlying areas that need it. They are beginning to experience a great deal of challenges with the massive amounts of refugees coming and going from a standpoint of, this seems to be the only light at the center of the universe for the most part, as most of FaeRun has descended into chaos, plague, famine, but here in the center of it all, in the center of the Midlands, the Silverhand reign seems to be helping. Although we've learned over the last, quite a few sessions, that a lot of this was mostly illusion and puppetry of what you could call certain versions of Silverhand that have been influential in creating the illusion of confidence and leadership, to where both Vert and Tamlin use this idea to create stability, to create a civilized understanding of Whist and this greater area. And this is what's been kind of propping up the area, allowing it to become stable and attract people to it. And with this, our team continued on to the Maw Chasm. Here in Woolsville, however, they've been given that kind of brief respite. They're currently residing and picnicking on a hill, with one exception, the sentinel-like individual, Max, who is getting used to what they are becoming when two relics collide to a certain degree. The majority of our team is on a hill. It's early afternoon, enjoying an opportunity to picnic. Scorch has flown off to the Jasper mining colony to do some scouting, as well as to do some of his own reconnaissance of the area, leaving our team to enjoy this brief calm, this brief rest. And where we last left off, all of you were on a hill having a picnic as you watched, I believe it was Kai and one other individual on the magic carpet that has become the inheritance of Gull's shop, given to him by his aunt and uncle, and enjoying the afternoon. Leaving Max back in the magistrate residence. Max, are you there?
Yes.
Do me a favor. Give me a charisma save, please.
Just right off the bat, let's hit him with it.
Yep, Bart. See if you survive your punishment for missing a game.
That is a 24.
24. The last couple of days have been particularly challenging for you. Getting used to whatever this sentient creature is, the two of you have spent kind of quiet contemplation with each other. The idea of trying to understand what each other are, let alone what it means for two relics to come into coexistence together. Currently, the Sentinel, this thing of the past, and yourself are in the process of binding to each other. This has given you some insights, both into the nature of the sentinel-like creature that you can now, to a certain degree, control. Some of it you can invoke, but it's almost like you have to make a pact or an agreement with this thing. And this presents some challenges. At some point, you begin to realize that the sentient nature of this creature is more rooted in the past than any true understanding of the present. You have no past that you can remember. You merely know that what you are is what you are. However, your conversations with Vert and the conversations regarding the origins of you as a relic, the understanding of the Red Wizards of Fae and their manipulation of the weave and constructs in an effort to save themselves, you're beginning to realize more and more that perhaps what you are, where you've been, and what you're capable of may lie in that area. And being a part of this sentinel creature is beginning to kind of expose some of those emotions and those feelings. However, no longer requiring a long rest to recover anything, no longer requiring food or sustenance as you did with your previous bound individual that was bound to your relic mask. This has allowed you to remain very... Yes, Arena?
How does he get his spells back?
Well, I was about to get to that point, but I'm glad you cut me off just in time, as well as giving me the opportunity to adjust your screen, because I know that's killing Cesre's OCD, because he's just like me.
My leg has been nervously bouncing for like...
Oh my God, you keep
15
moving,
minutes.
Callista. I'm going to come into that room and I'm going to shackle you. Shackle.
Promise?
Well, see, yeah, that was my follow-up statement to that.
This Dungeons and Dragons game is getting a little...
Too real.
Well, no, it's definitely not getting that real. That's mostly humor. I can assure you of that.
Jason's a cuddler.
Yeah, I'm a big cuddler. Cesare can tell you that for sure.
He definitely can. Yeah, it's adorable seeing them together.
Rumble Belly's a cuddler. He missed.
This is true.
Booner.
Your sudden realization and intuition and binding this creature allows you to take the long rest effect of a short rest. So whenever you do take a short rest, not only do you regain your hit points and regain your spell slots, but this is presenting a new kind of challenge. You now find yourself in a potential pact with a relic that is just as confused about its understanding as much as you are about your own understanding. Over the course of the last couple days, the Sentinel also reveals to you that once per day, so once per 24-hour period, you can invoke the enlarge effect on the Sentinel, which essentially takes your physical size up to 30 feet in height and puts you into a kind of like gigantic state of existence. This doesn't necessarily affect the outcome of your spell abilities, but your physical abilities definitely change around this. It lasts for only a short period. It lasts for a minute whenever you invoke it from within an encounter perspective. But probably the biggest benefit would be the armor class benefit, which we've already discussed previously. However, whenever you are in this giant state, this large state, the Sentinel becomes the more dominant personality versus your magical nature. And this is the conversation that you and the Sentinel have been having this day. This once arriving at Woolsville, you've been very distracted with this part, trying to better understand what this means. And you begin to understand that when casting spells and interacting with the natural world in that enlarged state becomes a bit more problematic, as the arcane-like energy of the relic that you've bound to, and which has become more pact-like in nature than anything else. This presents you with a challenge, a conundrum that you need to eventually figure out. The very nature of your spells are beginning to change a bit. With the eradication and the unpredictable nature of arcane magics, it's through packs of understanding of what you thought you were. But now, it's quite possible that the union of both your relic existence with this sentinel relic existence, a new type of life form may actually be coming into existence. The way the magic works, the way the magic is kind of channeled through it into you and you into it. The conversation goes on for most of the morning until the sentinel kind of near the end of the morning, after you've watched a handful of your friends leave the residence and you're left alone in the magistrate's residence in one of the small rooms that has been used as a resting place, a place where all of you... Because here's the challenge, right? Technically, no one's nighttime long resting. Everybody's daytime long resting at this point because the caravan will set off in the evening. It should have left the previous evening, but the decision was to take an extra day. This was because Gulsha got his inheritance, the magic carpet that he's now sharing with his friends. But for you, you're taking advantage of the fact you don't need that long rest.
Oh,
At
yeah.
some point, the sentient creature, this relic, this thing of the past, Max, I'm not really sure what you are, Max. I'm kind of sure that I know what I am. Can we talk about what we think we are becoming?
What is there to talk about?
I feel like there's something about your past that you don't know. I feel like there's something about me and my purpose of watching the Silverhand tomb that seemed predestined and preorganized, but now I'm in a place of unfamiliarity. I don't understand what you are or what your intent is. I don't feel malice in you. I feel probably an equal amount of confusion in my own existence as in yours. But do you have a thought? Do you have an idea of what maybe we could become?
I don't.
I feel like we stray away from our magics the more we become unified in what we are. I worry about us. I feel like our purpose is, well, intended. But I also feel like our purpose may be a bit predestined as well. I mean, what would you be if you hadn't found me? I would be a creature under the ground, forever standing guard over something that had served its purpose a long time ago. What was the nature of your choices up to then? Where were you going, Max? And what was your plan in regards to that human host that you had before?
I don't know. I don't know a lot.
I feel like I know everything there is to know over 300 years ago. This new world seems strange to me, seems unfamiliar. However, the Silverhand, the fact that he lives seems strange to me too. My job was to overlook and keep guard of his tomb, and yet here he walks the surface. Here he exists. He's alive. And here I am without any real sense of purpose. Just so you know, Max, I appreciate the sense of purpose that you've given me. Don't know what this means. I don't know where it goes. But I think as we discover it together, we will better understand what our purpose is. But I fear for the others. I fear we are better prepared for any conclusion that comes to us, for we lack mortal coils. We are both magic and idea come together. Perhaps we should start thinking about what that idea really means. And with that, the two of you drift in and out of conversation as more revelation, more is learned about the past. At this point for you, Max, whenever you make a history check regarding any ancient relics that are related to the FaeRun or the greater FaeRun of 250, 300 years ago, you will have an advantage on those history checks as you're becoming more and more becoming bound with this sentinel. But already some of the memories chip away. Some of those current memories are beginning to fall away as the more you become intertwined with this sentinel creature, a little bit of distance begins to burble to the surface, and the feelings and memories drift you further apart from those that you've recently met or met some time ago. And already the beginnings and the feelings of mortality are drifting away from you. The idea of no sleep, no food, no sustenance, no more worrying about a human host or a mortal coil is beginning to feel a bit of a foster of relevance to you. And as you spend your day in both silent and introspect with the sentinel, if anybody were to be around, they would probably be a little bit concerned at the strange smile that your mask takes on for the very first time. A smile of recognition, a smile of reality. You may be the closest thing to a god that the surface of this world has ever seen in a very long time as you begin to dip your foot into an existence that offers more opportunity than you thought possible. Suddenly, that puppet that the relic book allowed you to create seems completely irrelevant compared to what perhaps the book, the sentinel, and yourself may begin to manufacture. To the rest of you on the hill enjoying your picnic, I believe it was Kai and one other person that had looped around. It might have been Kai and Arena that were up on the flying carpet. Took it for a quick practice run, and all of you are eating charcuterie, drinking wine, drinking tankards of ale, taking turns on this pretty darn cool piece of equipment that Gulshaw is admiring.
How big did you say it was, Gulshaw?
4 foot by 7 foot.
4 foot by 7 foot.
All of you are together with the exception of Max, who's still in the main residence, on a very decently sized hill, looking down on the community of Woolsville. It's early afternoon. The caravan is not expected to leave until nightfall, so you still have some time left in town. The magistrate is currently with you as well, her 2 aides. Well, I think that might be the coolest thing I've ever seen. What would you
Yes,
guys
it
like to
is.
do?
It is the coolest thing that I've ever seen. One of. Yeah.
That's impressive. That is.
But I wanted to pick her brain about running the town because you don't have to play it in character, but I did want to talk to her about, us taking over Traverton and we'd already talked to her about potentially opening up a chimera here.
That
Right?
conversation was had previously.
Okay. And yeah. Okay.
Since she asked about the stories, I might as well talk about, the adventure we had with the Jasper mining colony, and then, ending up in the volcano, and specifics on that end. Just
Well, I must say, the lot of you have seen quite the adventures. I believe The Young Boy and a Dragon sounds like a book, or perhaps a song I can write. I'm intrigued by your friend Max. I think he is definitely an interesting caricature for sure. I mean, it's been a while since I've had so many snacks around me. It's quite enjoyable.
I've never had anyone write a song about me before.
No?
I've never heard anybody refer to me as food.
Well, yes. Well, I'm
Okay.
often hungry.
George, kind of referred to us as food at one point.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
I've been referred to as food many times. I've been. Things have tried to eat me.
Yeah.
When you grow up in the jungle in the forest, it's
Oh yeah,
dangerous
didn't you
place.
guys almost get eaten by a giant frog one time?
Yeah.
That was a little thing that happened, kind of.
I got eaten by a snake.
That's right, you
Yeah.
did.
You did?
I did. I got
was
eaten
there
by a
for
snake.
that.
Yeah.
Was eaten a pawn by
It
ticks.
is
T-Rexes, raptors, carnivorous
It is-
plants, leeches, or some sort of weird bug. I don't know what they were.
it's a pattern. It is.
Yeah.
I guess we all have been morsels at one time or another.
So it seemed that all of you have been already on a series of adventures. This one carries you to a very interesting one as well. My understanding is you're to leave to the Maw Chasm this evening. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
I've often thought about discussing this with Silverhand himself, but seeing as how his daughter is here, I hope she does not take offense. But personally, I think opening that bridge is a huge mistake.
Insight check.
Go for it.
Why do
I'll
you say
agree
so?
that the potential for danger is high, but there's
30,
also
20.
possibilities that you close off by not.
Valev, she seems genuine about her misgivings, and for the first time, the facade of like her kind of mirth and jovial existence kind of falls away a little bit. She's beginning to recognize that all of you here are serious people. You've seen serious parts of the world, and she feels confident enough to speak openly about this. I mean, you're up on a hill overlooking her very congested, busy, under-resourced town that for the most part has always given off the illusion of calm and success. But her facade drops long enough for her to begin telling you about stories of famine, strange sicknesses, and
On the other side of the bridge?
well, no, dear, it's just I've already got these problems now in my town. I mean, I know we were discussing earlier, while snacking on a bit of cheese, about your opportunity to settle and manage Traverton. I believe his lordship has picked appropriately, but there are challenges with things like this, great moral dilemmas. At one point, during the height of the first of the refugees appearing, I quite literally had to make the choice of life and death for many of them. The graveyards are full of hundreds that never had an opportunity or a chance. I don't necessarily want to live through that again. I've got a little bit of stability and peace, and I feel like meeting you and partnering up with a lot of you will give the town an opportunity of growth as well. But I guess sometimes when something does well, feed it too much food, give it too much water, it begins to die all over again. And I have heard rumors of the size of the camp on the other side of that chasm, and it's, well, needless to say, it's a lot of people. I just don't know if we have what it requires to take care of so many. Cannot feed thousands on good intentions. So yes, I'm
They
concerned.
all come expecting free food, or would they work to help take care of the community?
Well, one would hope that that's the agreement that would be struck. But if you've spent the last 10 plus years or so scrounging, dying, barely living, suddenly to see so much, well, what we view as barely enough, they may view as excess, and they may see it as more than we need. Will they simply take? Will they simply have expectations? I don't know. His lordship is at the council meetings on occasion, he reassures us, but I'm definitely not used to this new Silverhand, this new energetic and excitable Silverhand. Perhaps he knows something we do not, and there is but something waiting on the other side of that bridge that will solve these problems. I know that there's clandestine meetings that come back and forth, and those in power rule because they have capability and capacity, but fear of the unknown is, well, I'm just saying, to be fearful is to be human. Now, who would
Sure,
like
a
to
sudden
take me
influx.
for a ride on that carpet before things get too serious? As she starts going, eeny, meeny, miny.
I'll go. I'll go.
As she
Oh,
points
that looks fun.
at Valev and goes, Mo. And the two of you jump on the carpet, invoke it, and kind of take off, leaving Arena, Derek, Kai, and Gulshaw to watch as the carpet. And already down below in the flats of Woolsville, people have already stopped and start pointing and looking up to where the carpet is kind of like, swinging around and doing loops. And
I don't know why, but I feel like there's a song that goes with this.
Yeah, Steppenwolf, right?
Magic carpet ride.
Magic carpet ride. Hit it, Groovy. Oh, okay.
What? It doesn't have
Don't
voice
make us-
commands? Come on,
don't make us
Groovy.
Groovy
pay.
doesn't have voice commands.
That's
Voice
funny.
command. Play Steppenwolf.
That is hysterical.
Alexa, play Steppenwolf.
Alexa, play Steppenwolf.
Oh wait, I have my earphones in. I was like, nope, she didn't do it. 'Cause she can't hear.
Right.
It's close.
That is hysterical. So you guys have some time. What are you doing?
I am looking at Derek and saying, "Hey, you may be off the hook. She may be with Valev instead."
Lev is
He,
still a child.
It'll look
Valev
a
is
slight
very
relief.
young, and well, to put it politely, he has a strong odor.
Since
Oh,
most
okay.
of us are here right
So-
now,
You could
So what
I'll
I'm
give
hearing,
a-
but
what I'm
odor
hearing
is
Strong odor
fine.
of the forest.
is Gulshaw wants a chance. That's what I'm hearing.
That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm
No.
That's what I'm hearing. Yeah.
Since most of us are here right now, I'm going
Okay.
to take 10 minutes to give an inspiring speech so everybody gets 12 temporary hit points.
Oh, shit,
Yay.
okay.
Well, everybody but Valev.
Yeah, Olev and
Max.
Who else?
Max.
Max. Yeah, Max.
Shh, Max doesn't need them.
But we can, because I can choose.
Max probably has
to,
1,000 hit points now.
I can choose up to 6 creatures, so the missing 2 can just be Dudley and Ghost.
Okay.
Uh,
I'll add temporary hit points to Ghost.
Yeah.
Wheel.
I
Boy,
do
my
have
my microphone has become super sensitive all of a sudden. It's crazy.
I know. I had to turn you down.
Yeah, I started
dude.
to lean back. So when OBS 27.1 came out, I realized they had some audio fixes on there. So now I don't have to be up in my microphone anymore. I can actually be back where I'm used.
in your microphone.
Yeah, I'm actually back. I'm back at my
it just
normal.
looks like you're doing something else. It's fine. Just slightly out of frame. No, in frame, out of frame, in frame, out of frame, in frame. There you go. Classic.
So now I can actually sit back in my chair like normal and talk. And because
Yes.
I was, does it sound better when I'm back like this?
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds
You kind
great.
of sound the
Good.
same whether you're up forward or not.
I don't think that's true. I think
Well, now you're really up forward.
Sorry, I made a mistake. 13 hit points, not
Oh, 13. Okay.
Woo!
there's that
That
fancy.
one extra.
Yeah,
That
there's
extra
that
one is
fancy.
gonna save someone.
Extra one. It's important.
That fancy math. That fancy math.
Yeah, I forgot I leveled up because it's my level plus my charisma modifier. So
Nice.
Eventually, the carpet comes back.
I was just pitching her like song ideas or like
Yeah.
cool ways that she could describe the boy and the dragon, and like some cool things. Maybe even like the boy can, turn into another cool creature, and then they ride and do cool stuff together. And yeah, not very articulate or very well descripted.
Yeah, and as the two of you step off the flying carpet, I need to stop calling it a magic carpet. It's a flying carpet. As the two of you step off of it, she looks at you and goes, "How do you feel about the name Pete?"
I mean, I wouldn't call it mine, but sure, it sounds nice.
As all of you,
I'm glad I'm not a Pete, but nothing against Pete's, but sure, I guess Pete will work.
A tune comes to mind. I'll have to think on that. So most of the afternoon drifts away to late afternoon. Already you can see the bulk of the caravan beginning to form up down in the market area of Woolsville. People coming in from the fields as the sun is beginning its process of setting. It's not quite there yet, but you get the feeling that the day has ebbed. You spent a great deal of time here learning, and I'll say you begin to... why did my Nightbot just do something that is not enabled? It's very annoying.
I'm weird.
It is AI.
Oh, I know why. Because I have a custom command that I cannot turn off.
Where would it type? Where is Sarah
Wait,
Connor? What?
can we do hashtag ticket for entry? Is that the one you're saying?
Yeah, but don't, because you'll break the system, please.
I broke it.
Yes, you did.
Sorry.
Where is it? Well, no, I don't have it turned on. It shouldn't have even done anything. I mean, obviously it says...
It said failed.
Well, it said failed, but it even shouldn't... The Nightbot shouldn't
I don't
have
even know
even
how to
said
roll for
that.
dice.
Because it's
Well,
not...
now I want to do it.
Now you want to break
Go to
it?
roll for
I'll
dice.
break it.
I don't even know where to go to roll for dice anymore.
I just want to win.
I
Where do you go to roll
too.
for dice? You go to our Discord channel
You
server.
go to our Discord server, and there's a
Server,
channel
that's
that
what it's
says
called.
"Bring your dice," and you
Yep.
roll 1d1000, and you have a chance to win dice every Friday.
Yes, you do.
Unicorn dice.
Unicorn this week.
Unicorn
Unicorn dice
dice.
this weekend.
I want the dice
This
this
week.
week. I want the dice this week. I may have to just buy myself the dice because I
Well,
want
and
them.
I'm hoping that I can have a chat with the Viridian team, and maybe they'll give us a discount code that we can start using for our followers and our Discord users for purchasing Viridian dice.
That would be so cool because
that-
I want more dice.
That would
I
be.
can't have more dice. You
that-
never have too much dice.
I think I'm just
D20 is
gonna hold
purple.
off on buying any Viridian dice until we get that discount code. So Viridian, if you're watching, I got some orders that I want to place. Just waiting on that code.
Unicorn dice. Do they have kitty dice?
It wouldn't
Oh, I'm
surprise
sure.
me. Wouldn't surprise me. I'm still in love with the llama dice to be.
That's true. I need
the
the
llama dice are
unicorn
really
dice,
cool.
and I
Okay,
need
let's
some
focus.
kitty
Let's
dice,
focus.
and I
Let's
need some
focus.
llama
Bring it back in.
dice.
Bring it back in.
Oh
Come
my
on.
gosh, I need dice.
We do pick
Okay.
the strangest time for breaks. So
Sorry.
down in amongst the market area, the caravan is beginning to reform. The 20, 30, or 40 wagons, the horses, the basilisk riders. It takes a while for this to happen. It should be leaving within the next 2 to 3 hours, heading out towards the Maw Chasm. You guys have a little bit more time left. The magistrate kind of gets up, looks at the two assistants, kind of sends them on their way. She looks at each one of you and simply states, well, know that any of you have a place to come whenever you need a rest. You have been more than decent guests, and I trust Lady Silverhand will always be there to reassure her father that I'm a good choice. I would offer some advice. Be cautious. Whatever is on the other side of that bridge, well, we will know for sure what its intent is and what the requirements are to make it happen. This community will dig deep. This community will do what's expected of it, and we will suffer through it. I have lived through too much darkness, too much pain, too much hunger and famine and death to stop now. But I don't know if any of you feel it as much as I do. That kind of calm before the storm. The very edge of energy that seems to be just waiting for that peak. Yes, Vilev, it's a saying, not an actual storm coming.
Oh yeah, I didn't see any clouds. I was.
I've
But-
also felt this.
Yes, you
coming
look like
storm.
you've had many feelings to deal with, especially from what I've heard, but that's okay.
Is that what all the bags under his eyes are?
Perhaps.
Is that where all the feelings get stored?
Vilev, you are very interesting. See me in a few years when I feel less... Well, anyways.
Visit her when you have more bags under your eyes.
She looks at all of you and goes, I don't have much to offer, but perhaps these will help you. And she nods to one of the assistants. They pull out a kind of messenger bag, kind of leather satchel, hands it over to her. She then opens it and offers 3 superior potions of healing each.
Ooh, each? Ooh.
This was an order I got from Vert some time ago. Unfortunately, I have no use for them now. I suspect you and your friends do. After what happened on the trail here and where you go next, it's still a day's or a night's journey, I believe, to get to the Maw Cavern and the perceived safety of the construction site. But I hope these help.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's DM speak for you're gonna need it.
Yeah, thanks.
Actually,
How many?
I actually rolled on a D4 how many she was going to give you. She gave you 3 because it was a 1D4. No one needs insight checks for this. There's a lot of genuine concern in her voice. There's It's for all of you, it's that look of something that's taken so long to get to a point, and that concern of, should we not just leave well enough alone? Aren't we doing fine now? Why take the lid off and stir the pot?
I get it.
As all of you wrap up the afternoon and early evening festivities, Max, eventually there's a knock at your door. Sorry to bother you, sir, but the caravan will be leaving in about an hour.
Thank you.
Eventually, all of you make your way down with Palama in tow. The columns and order of people beginning to recognize as the caravan is forming up. In the very beginnings of it, just as it gets to dark, just the edge of dark, the first dozen or so of the caravan begin to make their way out of town. Then the next dozen, then the next dozen, the very long line of wagons, horses, material, guards, Silverhand and his retinue taking up the lead as the caravan begins to make its way out of town. You guys are free to decide where you fit into the march as usual. The caravan itself, for the most part, is decently protected, so you're free to set up wherever you would like to be within the caravan.
We were on our own wagon, weren't we?
You were either passengers or drivers of a wagon. It's completely up to you. But yes, one of your wagons you brought from the Chimera Mercantile with the intent of either conducting trade or being able to haul a rather large amount of product if you so chose to.
Right.
Yeah, because we brought the big chest with us.
Yeah.
And we're getting that all set up.
Because we had our own wagon. We sent it with the caravan when we stayed for Gulshaw, but we had our own wagon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got my flying wagon. See you, bitches. No.
Oh, it did actually. Since we were in the town, I forgot to say this. I wanted to look around and buy a large amount of raw materials.
Okay. So what we can do now, while the caravan is shifting and everybody wants to inquire, just as the caravan's in the process of leaving, because it'll take take at least an hour for it to form up and leave. Is there anything anybody wants to do or get from the town before heading on the road?
I want to go walking through the shops and see if there's anything that strikes my fancy.
I would give me investigation.
Okay. I'll go with her and help.
With my beautiful purple and green and blue dice.
Ooh.
Going
go
to
ahead,
use my Kraken dice.
Go ahead and do advantage.
With advantage?
Because you and Valev are paired up examining the wares as they're being either packed up or offered by kiosk of sellers.
17.
17. Most of what you see between the two of you is simple items, either items of crockery or stuff that would be used to, hold and maintain foodstuffs. You find a lot of residual items, related to firewood and food and the day-to-day activity. The one thing you're picking up on here that most of what people either have to offer or find of interest is either local herbs, local resources designed to keep things going, to keep this town moving along. Very little, if any, sign of luxuries or excess items that could be used as like carpets or clothing or boots or finery, furniture. At one point, just looking around, you begin to realize that for the most part, people just build their own furniture and make do with what they have. Everything around here is very simple, homespun, very much designed on the very edge of a frontier-like existence. And as the two of you watch the caravan begin to snake its way out, you begin to realize that for the first time, you're leaving the fringe boundaries of Whist and truly will be out on what would be called the frontier of this area. But
Can
I
I
would
find diamonds at all?
I would say you do come across an elderly gentleman. He is currently packing up his kiosk as it's nightfall. He sees the two of you come up and he goes, "Oh, what can I get the two of you? I have a few minutes before I'm packing up and leaving."
And I ask him if he has any gems.
I
Specifically diamonds.
have some uncut gems from trading with the Tabaxi when they came through. I was planning on refining the gems later on and taking them to Whist for the summer market season, but I can certainly sell you some of my uncut diamonds. How much are you looking for?
How many do you have? How much do you have?
I believe I have about 1,200 gold worth of uncut diamonds. I do have.
Well, take it all.
Oh,
Yes.
very well. Here you go. And he hands you a kind of medium-sized
Now,
leather
out of-
sack.
out of- out of character?
Since we're gonna buy all of them, can we get some kind of discount? I think I'm doing the bargain thing. All right.
Give me a persuasion check.
Out of character, does it matter spell component wise whether they're cut or uncut?
It's just the value.
Okay.
What was it? Persuasion? That's a charisma skill, isn't it?
Yes, it is. You suck at it.
Wait, is that a plus? That is a +1.
Oh,
no,
he
that's,
sucks at it less than I do then.
yes. Okay,
Valev
that's not my worst.
bartering with
That
money.
That is not my worst. That would
Valev
be
is
a
bartering with my money.
15. That's a 15.
15?
15?
Yeah.
Well, if you're buying it all, I don't have much of a way to be able to discount this for you. I suppose that you are taking it all. I will not have to. 1,100 gold, I think, is worth the conversation. You are saving me a trip. That's a good deal of coin. I do have rubies and I have a few uncut rubies, a few uncut gems. We had some very interesting, strangely folksy individuals that came through here. And I even have these things they call pearls, if you need them. I have about a dozen of them. I traded them a stake in one of the sheep farms that I own. But I do have a dozen pearls, if you'd like those as well.
How much for all of them?
Well, I believe, since you've already spent 1,100 gold, I'd be more than happy to relieve you. Well, they're a dozen. They're each valued at 100 gold, but I will gladly sell them to you for 800 gold. Suddenly, I may not have to journey this summer, which is fine by me, considering the amount of raiders that have been on the road.
Okay, so
And,
that's 1,100
we're doing
and then
the-
800, so that's 1,900?
19. We're doing the
1900.
barter thing really good. We're
Yes.
winning it, right? Is this how?
Yes, Valev, we're winning at the barter.
Yes. Awesome.
Yes. Okay, I will give him.
Do you have any
1,900.
other cool like magic-y kind of stuff?
What do you mean? I don't know if
Wow.
I...
Magic items are not that common, honey.
Oh.
I have valuable stones, I think, rare stones. That's about all I currently can offer you. I wish I had magic items. Those would be worth a bloody fortune.
Okay.
I will give him. What would 1,900 be in platinum? 190
Mm-hmm.
platinum.
Oh, platinum it is. Thank you. It's much easier to carry than all that gold. I definitely appreciate that. Thank you. And he continues to pack up the kiosk. While Valev and Arena are doing this, Derek, Kai, and Gulshaw, anything you want to do last minute before the caravan heads out?
I was gonna see about purchasing wool from the town stores, see if and putting it in a box.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Gosh, let's see. Investigation, not very good on that. Let's see. 13.
13. After a while, you begin to realize that the majority of the spare building space that kind of almost looks like warehouse in existence is partially filled with some wool supplies. Realizing that it's now spring and transitioning into summer, the shearing season has already gone off and probably the majority of the wool resources have been shipped out. At some point, you come across an individual that seems to be in charge of a rather maybe 2 or 3 warehouses. The two of you communicate, spend some time talking. Is there anything in particular you're looking for?
I'm just wanting to make sure the quality is good. Is the town's only like main raw resource wool from the sheep, or and
It would,
sheep
based on the size of the herds, the sheep and goat herds, you get the feeling it's a mix of wool and goat's milk, as well as mutton and meat products that would come from the changing out of the cycle of the young versus the elderly animals. There are some cow herders here, but not many. There's a great deal of lumber product here being resourced from the nearby Blackwood. Once again, it's, there's lots of the common stuff, not a lot of the unique things. The overall quality seems pretty good. And I would also, if you're trying to negotiate any contracts of agreement, you can go ahead and make a persuasion check and see what happens.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Okay.
Can I buy a cow?
For you or Scorch?
For Scorch.
Yeah.
I'll say for
Scorch leave.
Yeah,
He
Scorch.
did.
Yeah,
But
I'll
we can take a cow with us.
Yeah, I'll say for 5 gold, you managed to tie up a heifer to the wagon in tow.
Okay.
Thought you just wanted another pet.
Okay,
Honestly.
that's
I was like, I'll read out.
That's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. I'll say at some point during your investigation, as the caravan's setting up and making its way out, you come across an individual by the name of Hans Fran, and the two of you negotiate, and you come to find out that he can guarantee you a bulk load of 10-ton worth of wool for the next fall season. And it's going to cost you probably a gold per ton. So it's going to be 100 gold for it's going to be 10 gold for the 10-ton value.
Okay, yeah, I'll pay up front and the contract signed.
Okay.
Contract
So,
for 10 tons
worth of wool to be delivered late in the fall.
Yeah, that sounds good. And then we can sell it, or if we get it processed into coats for winter, we could sell them.
Third idea. Kai will approach, probably it would be Derek or Golshaw, and offer them the potion of boldness. Everyone wants to take that. Have that.
And how much?
Any combat that we have.
I think Shaw should take it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How much was the 10 tons going to be cost?
Okay.
10 gold. I'll just pay it out of mine.
Okay. Okay.
And you get the feeling that this is probably the leftovers of the seasonal supply that either they don't use or can't sell. So although the quality's okay, it's mostly, it's mostly clearing out the warehouses and preparing for the spring shear for the following season.
Hey, Arena.
Yeah.
Didn't the Shinies guy say that he had like a sheep farm that he had for sale or something like that?
He had shares in, yes. Or he was selling shares in?
He had a stake in it.
Oh, a stake in it. That's right. I thought it was weird because, like, you have a stake?
What?
You had a stake there, and so your
I thought there were sheep though. Why were they? Why do you
maybe
have
they were
cows?
sheep steaks.
You eat sheep? Like you eat cow?
Yeah,
What?
people
What's a
eat sheep.
potion of
I don't
boldness?
eat sheep, but some
Oh.
people eat sheep.
Hmm.
But mostly people just have the sheep so that they can, get the wool and stuff, not actually eat them because the wool is more valuable.
So should we go, like, buy part of his farm?
Why? We just gave him 1900 gold. We don't need to give him more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
We're
I was
gonna
just
make
kind of
a
like looking around at all of the things to buy, not really knowing what to do with the 250 platinum that Scorch gave him. So he's just like looking at all the things, going like, I guess we could get that, and we could buy that, and maybe buy somebody's steak farm. I don't know how it works.
we could buy somebody's steak farm, but I
Steak
just bought a
farm.
cow to bring back to I mean, do you want to buy more cows? We could buy more cows to take to him. I think one cow will tide him over for a bit, though.
Yeah, I mean, he always wants more, but
He can also hunt.
Why don't you get a
chickens, I'm
boy
sure.
cow and a girl cow, and you can start your own herd?
We don't need a boy cow and a girl.
Oh,
We're not buying them in
Jesus.
Wolfsville. We'll buy them down in Whist because I don't
Oh,
want to have to
okay.
take them home.
If that's
This
gonna
one,
happen, I'm gonna
You-
find the most roided out bull.
You're a
I'm
you're a-
talking like muscle
You're
cow.
a boy. You will be a boy with cows. You'll be a cowboy.
you will be a cowboy.
Yeah, cowboy.
Eventually, as all of you are
Cowboy.
meandering around and doing these last minute shopping duties, you watch as Max finally makes an appearance. Max comes strolling into the area and kind of hops up onto the wagon that he's been traveling on.
Hey, Tin Man.
Hey, Max, do you think you would fit in the box?
What box?
Well, the box that we got from Silverhand.
Oh, no. And I don't want to try.
Oh,
Oh,
come
come
on. I
on.
think it would be fun.
Yeah,
Okay, then
We'll
we'll
pull
stick
you
with
out.
Max after me.
get in the
Well,
box.
you don't have to breathe. I have to breathe.
That's not taking to my comfort.
That's assuming that it's not comfortable in the box.
Point.
Just dark in the box.
That's assuming it's dark in the box. We don't know what the inside of the box looks like. It could be Nirvana,
Well, someone goes inside.
but he doesn't have to breathe, so he's the only one that could go in.
These are questions that we need answers to.
Well, they're ones that we can ponder on the road north.
It's very scientific.
Or even east.
I mean east.
This is why Arena's not the Pathfinder.
She's no ranger.
I'm not a ranger. No.
Arena like points that way and Derek points
North.
that way.
I always know which
You know,
direction's
Mark
north.
has
So
It's the other way,
North?
dear.
East? Yeah, we'll go that way.
Yeah.
So at this
We'll follow
point,
the people in front of us.
the majority of the caravan has already left. You are now at the tail end of the caravan. There are at least 2 of Silverhand's guards and a couple of the clan's guards as well that are part of Gulshaw's group that are part of this tail end of the caravan. It's strung out for at least a mile or 2 in front of you and steadily begins to make its way out of Woolsville. Currently, Max is riding in the Chimera Mercantile wagon, the Whist pennant on one side, the Mercantile pennant on the other side. The rest of you, what would you like to do?
I'm riding Ghost.
Well,
Okay.
I'm riding my flying carpet. Flying carpet.
Okay.
So
since I haven't been on it, mind if I tag along?
Yeah, sure.
Ooh, will
That's
Dudley
fine.
fit on it?
Oh my gosh,
No
are you guys
dog. I
gonna
don't want dog hair on my carpet.
Are you gonna do like the Titanic pose off the front? Just
I'll
Just have
keep,
my
I'll
arms
keep
folded
Dudley
like this.
grounded.
I put my turban on. Fold
Those
my
are
arms.
Sikhs. You
Dudley
dum-dum.
can ride alongside me. Come on, Dudley.
Whatever I want. Make
So
it a
Arena,
round race.
Dudley, and Ghost are right alongside the wagon.
Are we
Max is on the wagon.
Our mountain goats, rams. Why did I say
Where's
goats?
Scorch?
The
George
mountain
was riding one, I believe, and I
Right.
think you were riding the other.
And then there's 2, I believe, that are actually hauling the wagon as well.
Yeah, because we found 2
Guys
more.
were still
Yep.
there.
Should we go
Are
ahead
any
and
of the 2 other ones girls?
You could check.
I'm gonna look.
the what? The rams?
Yeah, the 2 other ramps that we found, are they girls?
Give me animal handling, please.
I'm
Can I help?
looking from.
Sure,
Yeah,
I'm okay
please.
with that.
You would
So,
help, yeah.
Arena, what you'll notice is on the boys, just move this, is you'll see up under here is,
I got an 18.
18. There are 2 boys and 2 girls of the 4
We have
rams.
2 boys
Yeah.
and 2 girls.
we
Yeah,
could have a ram
we
farm.
can have ram babies. That
There
makes
you
Arena
go.
happy.
Brother.
Okay.
We can
Okay, we
have
have
a
to-
petting zoo.
Great. Jason
Arena,
just took a
I have
mental
to
note.
say
He's going to
this
be
to
like,
you
all right,
once
we're going to
again.
eat all the rams in the next fight.
We can breed them for food for Scorch.
Arena, that you are the strangest priest
They won't
gnome
like
that I have ever met.
I am
He's
not
gonna
a
breed
gnome,
one.
so that's why I would be a strange gnome, because I'm a halfling. Yeah. Still, and
Still.
I continue to be a halfling.
Where's Scorch?
He's meeting
He's on
us.
the ram.
No,
Oh.
I thought he was
Yeah.
meeting us.
Oh,
at the bridge.
am I towing his ram?
Is he meeting us
I'll
at the
be-
Yeah.
bridge?
Yeah, currently
towing his
behind
ram.
the wagon is the heifer that was ordered, and one of the rams tethered to the rear of the wagon. 2 of the other rams are pulling the wagon, which I think frees up 1 additional ram for Valev to ride. Max is currently in the wagon. Gulshaw and Derek are on the flying carpet.
I'm just cruising right next to him.
And Kai, where are you? What are you riding on? Or are you in the wagon? Or are you
I'm
riding?
riding the hill. I'm riding my horse.
Okay, you're on your horse, and I believe that accounts for everybody, correct?
Yep.
All right. So,
And Max is. Wait, where's Max? What's he doing?
I
Walking?
figured out what
No,
part of my
he's in
problem
the
was,
wagon.
Valev. When the OBS updated, it dropped one of my filters. My gate filter dropped. So I'm like, why is my microphone picking up like fly farts? Where's that coming from? And I just went and checked my filter stack, and my gate filter dropped for some reason.
I don't know what fly farts sound like, but
I
But I
don't
can-
either, but
So
apparently
I'm
Jason
actually
does.
snapping, way up here.
gotcha.
I don't hear it.
So yeah, because I was like, why does that keep doing that? I enjoy change when I can manage it. I don't like it when change is forced on me and reminded me through like weird shit that kicks off my OCD, as they say.
So tell me, how'd you handle this pandemic?
What pandemic? I was just in denial the whole time.
In
Nice,
the
nice.
beginning,
Not well.
Beautiful.
Amen.
not well.
Not well. Definitely not well at the beginning. That is so true. So all of you on your mounts begin to make your way at the very tail end of the caravan as this night's journey takes you deep into the frontier-like area that's now very unfamiliar. You begin to pass through, passing out of Wolvesville and into the road leading up into the northern plain, or that should actually be the eastern and northern plains. The northern plains going north. The new map that I will be having for next session will have the correct compass and all that will be organized. Eventually coming around the Blackwood, heading more towards a southeast direction, and then eventually into a northeast direction, taking you into the Maw Chasm. The Maw Chasm, a rather large canyon that makes up the entire border of the north-south region of the Midlands. It is said to have come into existence during the Rift Wars, that it's actually was something that was affected by the Rift Wars. There's something else you begin to notice more and more traveling this portion of the frontier. There are very little signs of any humanoid activity here. It's almost as if you're transitioning from what would be a simple town-like existence into the idea of wildlands. You're beginning to see more prairie creatures. You eventually spot herds of deer shifting in and out of the nighttime hillsides and the grasslands that you're now near. You can see there's the green orbs of their eyes as dozens and dozens of them kind of shift and move about and move off. Every now and then, wild calls off in the distance. Something will fly over, disappear into the night. You also begin to notice that, at least at this portion of the caravan, the guards are on a sense of heightened awareness. Caravan for the next hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Who would like to roll the D12?
Can I do it?
Derek or
rolled it last
Verlev, up to
time.
you.
Go for it,
Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors.
Lizard Spock.
Okay, hold on. You can't see me, so it's...
Yeah. That's why I thought it was funny. He's like, okay,
Okay, hold on.
You-
Wow,
Wait,
Derek is so good at
me.
this. He wins every time.
like I was like putting my fist up the camera. Wait, I don't have my camera on.
Got him.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
I don't
Okay.
know. Somebody pick a number, or somebody do a.
No,
a
just one
one
of
through
you
10
roll.
thing.
Just one of you roll.
Just go ahead.
Just go ahead.
All right, cool. A 1.
A 1.
Oh, that's likely not good. Oh.
I'm at a slope here, so it just kept rolling down, and then it ended on the 1. I was like, oh shit.
At this
Yeah.
point, at some point of this journey, the caravan snakes its way closer to the Blackwood and is beginning to make that long bend towards the easterly stretch. Way off in the distance, way in the far distance, you can actually see the valley that you're descending slightly down into. The very change of the landscape is beginning. I need everyone to give me perception checks, please.
Roll high. Okay. For the Dudley and Ghost 2?
Fine with that.
Perception.
Okay,
19.
I got a dirty 20.
I got
Is
a.
it skills that I get to roll ones, reroll ones on? Is it? It's skilled. As a halfling, right? I get to reroll ones?
Yes.
You tell me, you're a halfling.
But, well, it's skills, right? Hold on.
That's
I'm looking it
gnomes.
up. Attack roll, ability checks, or saving throw.
Ivar, she's going to reach through that camera and just rip that little wispy beard off your chin.
Tomorrow.
Thank you.
You're gonna come
It could
here,
be
and
worse,
I'm gonna
laddie.
stick My
It could-
elbows in your back.
She
I'm gonna
could be
stick my
a
elbows
she could
in
be
your
a
back.
leprechaun. Oh, you
Right.
coming over tomorrow?
Yeah, if you will have me. Yeah, I'll come
Sure.
over.
Awesome.
Wait. Is this a massage train that I hear is happening?
Yeah, you can come over too.
I got a 18, but Dudley got a nat 20 for a total of 25.
Good thing.
Ooh.
Good thing
I got
Dudley's
a-
down on the ground then.
I got a 13
23.
Okay.
and Ghost got a 12.
What'd you get, Max?
If he senses danger, he's gonna howl danger.
Hold on.
Does it rely on hearing or smell? Because I can roll with advantage for Ghost.
You can give a ghost advantage. That's fine.
Ghost
got
only
a-
smells
I got
Valev.
I got a 4.
4. Okay.
Ooh.
You're in heavy
22.
Yeah, you're in
I'm
heavy
standing down the wind.
conversation with the Sentinel entity. But I'll say overall as a group, with the exception of Max and Arena, slightly distracted. Derek being up on a flying carpet for the first time in his life. Kai, what'd you get for your perception?
First time flying, period. Actually, no,
Actually,
second time. I lied because I was on Scorch's
We
back
were on
floor.
Scorch. Yeah.
Vo-
I'm go on.
Valev,
Yeah.
you notice it for the first time. There's like a tremor.
Giant worms.
Didn't
I've seen
anyone
that
feel
movie.
that?
Is
It-
it bugs? Are there mosquitoes?
Did anyone feel the shake? I'll kneel down and like put my hands on the ground in that very one with nature, feeling the stampede scene.
About
I'm listening to the ground.
yeah, as you guys watch Valev do
Wait,
this.
wait. Risey put his hand to the ground. I'm going to cast a minor illusion, make that hand look like manure.
You guys watch as Valev puts his face into a pile of shit.
Foggy
Make
shit.
sure it's like it's clean before you put your hand down there. You already need
There's
a
no
bath.
difference.
You watch as it just passes harmlessly through a transparent vision of a pile of shit.
Now, magic
All of
shit.
you, being warned by Valev, all of you look behind. The caravan continues on past you. Two of the guards kind of rear up their horses to stop as well, feeling the tremor. You watch as a very large shadow just walks right across the path of where the caravan already had pulled through, where all of you had come through. It looks to be roughly maybe 50, 60 feet in height. And the tremors are these large boulders falling off of its form onto the ground. As you watch this huge creature, barely visible, lumber in your... And you just watch it kind of lumber past and make its way off into the distance.
What was that?
Perhaps we should keep going and stay with the caravan. The two guards immediately kind of rear up their horses and kind of turn to catch up with the caravan.
Can I tell what it was?
Yeah,
I'll-
let's go.
I'll fly up like 80 feet and then fly over it and see what it is.
Okay, so for those of you focused in on it, give me investigation checks. Gulshaw, for you and Derek, as you begin to careen around and look, the two of you are flying just off to the side of it, and you watch as this massive creature turns its massive rock-like formation face up towards you and then just kind of ignores you and goes back to just lumbering. As you're fairly familiar with what a rock elemental could be, but this is huge. This thing is massive. It's maybe 30 feet wide, 60, 70 feet in height, and it's just lumbering off into the distance.
Which direction is it heading?
It seems to be heading north, with you and Gulshaw having the apex downward view of its directional that's going in. Go ahead and give me survival with advantage for the two of you.
But I got advantage. I got a 14.
It's heading...
I got a dirty 20.
30-20. It appears to be heading in a very much northerly direction towards the boundary of the Northern Plain Forest and the Warrentooth Mountains, where those two kind of collide. And it's just steadily...
So, over by the...
Over by the...
over by... what's that other town right there? Is
Timberland.
Timberland. Okay.
You don't get the feeling it's going to cross paths with Timberland. It's keeping itself well east of it, from what you can tell. And then as you follow it for a few minutes, it kind of drifts a bit more west and north.
Okay.
It's not moving very fast. It's just making a steady pace in that direction. Every now and then it looks up at the carpet and then just goes back to walking.
All right.
You watch its boulders falling off of it. hitting the ground.
We'll fly back over to the caravan.
Okay.
Yeah, it's ignoring us. No harm, no foul right here.
Not
You're muted,
doesn't
babe.
seem to be. What?
Arena's muted.
Oh, doesn't seem to be
Oh, you're on the phone. Gotcha.
hostile. So no problem.
All of you hear a screeching noise. You look as Gulshaw and Derek make their way back over. The rest of you are looking up to see them circling above. Off in the distance, the shadow of the monstrous form disappearing further away. Just in time to see the largest flock of like massive birds that you've ever seen before. And they're just squawking and moving. There's got to be at least a couple hundred of them. And they just get kind of flutter around you. It's a mixture of raptor birds and other kind of just common birds, and they flock around you, and they're also heading off in that direction. Looking back in the direction that they came from, you're nearest at this point to the edge of the Blackwood. There's a large form shifting in that forest. It's hard to detect, but there's something out there. You then watch as a herd of deer, disturbed by something, kind of shift up and out of some low-lying grass that they were bedded down in. You watch as about 100 deer go shifting off and away from the Blackwood. There's a moment that like the nighttime noises kind of stop. This almost swear there's a large figure out there. And then
Fly out there and see what it is.
I think we should probably stay clear and go Shaw. I mean, everything's running away from it. We don't want to attract whatever it is. Especially with the caravan. I'll go see. Drop me out on the ground and I'll scout out the wood.
Isn't it safer up here? Could just scout it and come back and report in case it's something dangerous that's going. Things are running this way.
But I'm good at concealing myself. I should be fine. I should be able to find whatever it is without grabbing its attention.
All right, well, tell me where to set you down. I'll get you as close as possible.
Kai's gonna instruct one of the guards to go up and alert her father.
Yes, lady, we shall. And he quickly gallops the horse and begins to make up towards the main body of the caravan. The other guard keeping a wary eye. And all of you are like, kind of like still walking or trudging alongside the tail end of the caravan. But it's that kind of like eerie feeling you get, like all of you get this feeling like you're being watched. And there's something out there because there's just this continuation of sporadic nighttime creatures just kind of busting out of the edge of the Blackwood and making their way off in different directions. At some point, you watch as a dozen plains raptors kind of come screeching out of the edge of the Blackwood, see the caravan rear backwards and kind of move away from the caravan, make their way out into the deep grasslands on the other side. Gulshaw, you fly. You set down Derek as close as you could possibly set him down. The two of you being closest at this point, go ahead and give me perception checks again. And Derek, are you attempting to be stealthy at all?
Yes, I was going to use my where is
12.
it?
Okay.
Hide in plain sight.
Okay.
It gives creatures when I take the hide action, it'll give whatever's trying to perceive its area around me a -10 to its perception when trying to detect me.
Okay. Gulshaw, you know there's something there. It's like on the very edge of your... It's more of a feeling than a reality. As you set down Derek near the edge of the beginnings of the densest part of the Blackwood, you kind of circle back up and away. But as you kind of peel off and away, you watch as Derek just disappears into the undergrowth, just vanishes from sight.
Dudley would have come up to meet me because he also takes on.
Well,
that
Dudley's
feature.
all the way back at the Caravan. Remember,
Okay.
Dudley's
That's
with
fine,
Ghost and Arena. So right now you're on your own. You have been
All right.
very much set down on the edge of this space. Go ahead and give me a survival check.
Okay. 16.
There's sign everywhere. It's kind of hard to distinguish it because of the amount of creatures that have fled out of this area, out of the section of the Blackwood. Spring is mostly gone. The edge of summer is approaching. But as you breathe heavily to try to make this out, you can see the frosted edge of your breath. This space has suddenly gotten very cold. You watch as some of the grass blades kind of break and wither over from the effect of the cold. You can see hanging frost nearby of limbs, kind of heavy with the weight of this sudden appearance of frost. And maybe about 100 or so feet directly in front of you into the denseness, like the very thick of the Blackwood, there's just a feeling of emptiness, cold, terror, fear, a whole amalgamation of feelings just colliding together. But there's something drifting in that space. There's something moving.
All right. I'm going to. Let me see. I will cast Pass Without Trace.
Okay. So plus 10 to your stealth rolls.
And I will take the hide action, which will activate my hide in plain sight as well. So
Okay.
whatever will try and perceive me. So I roll stealth.
Go for it.
That is 27.
27. As you begin to edge a little bit closer and deeper, the trees around you almost seem partially frozen and partially dead at the same time. Off to your right, maybe about 80 feet or so, you could see like a strange kind of blue, whitish, glowing kind of sphere just sitting there, hovering. And then you watch as it kind of disappears deeper. And then you watch, it kind of startles you. They didn't even know you were there. You watch as a family of like raccoons kind of just bursts out and away from whatever this strange thing is. You then watch as a flurry of night ravens just kind of scatter up into the trees and out and away. And then the blue, white, whatever it is, kind of shifting and moving in and amongst the trees. You gain pace on it a little bit. Doesn't seem to notice you, whatever it is. And then there's a voice in your head. Give me a wisdom save, please.
Okay. I have proficiency in this stuff. Hopefully it's a high roll. Okay, that's good. 21.
21. You overcome this immediate sense of panic. It settles in to the very bone and core as you traverse over this space and get a little bit closer to whatever this is. And now you begin to see the shimmering outline of a human visage that's merely floating in this space. Wild, long, transparent hair coming down its back. Its tattered clothing transparent. Its entire kind of like form just sitting there hovering. You watch as it kind of hovers over a panic frozen elk that it's near. You watch as it drifts down towards it. And as it touches it, you watch the elk suddenly kind of gyrate and twitch. You watch as its form becomes undone, and then you watch as it just decays from the very touch of whatever this thing is. And then you hear a wailing sound come out from it. And you watch as it drifts away from the now decomposed, destroyed form of the elk. Hey, Earl Dub, don't forget to send me your mailing address because you won for the Rerun Sunday. We do not have any dice giveaways tonight, but don't forget to jump into the Discord and do the dice channel from there as well. Unfortunately, my Nightbot, even though I turned it off, still seems to think we have one happening, and I don't know why it's doing that.
All right, so Spectral doesn't like hunting things. I don't know what it is.
The air is getting colder. Your breath is kind of forming. You watch as it shifts and turns, and it drifts a little bit deeper. You watch as another series of small animals break from cover and run off into a different direction.
I just want to make sure it's not heading in the direction of travel for the caravan.
Give me a survival check. We'll see if you can figure
Okay.
out its pattern. As for the rest of you back at the cavern, Gulshaw, you're continuing to circle. Everybody else, the caravan, continues to move on. At this point, the only person not present is Derek. Gulshaw, you're aware of where he is. The rest of you are not.
I got a 17.
17. It seems to be very much random in what it's doing. It seems to kind of randomly move in about. I'll say your stealth is definitely high enough that you're able to follow it for a good deal. And wherever it comes in physical contact with anything living, that living thing just completely is just destroyed, utterly absorbed to where there's virtually very little left of it when it comes in contact with it. Give me another stealth check, please.
Okay. That's a nat 20 for a total of 35.
Nice. Now give me another wisdom save, as you still remain within the effect of its howl that you can hear from time to time.
This one wasn't so good. I got a, what was it? 13.
13. At some point, sheer panic takes over you. You begin to realize that the howling sound is the sound that it makes to stun its prey. You watch as another deer is taken by the creature, stunned by its howl. You're frozen in place. Your spine just locks up. This howl just wraps around you. You could feel the coldness of its howl. You could feel this sap of energy and strength begin to drain from you. You look down to watch as your hands begin to wither as you look at it. The breath crystallizing in front of you as this creature, not more than maybe 80 or 90 feet in front of you, begins to absorb the remains of this deer. Still yet not noticing you, but this area of effect that you're in, you take 71 points of cold damage
Holy moly!
from
So
the
much
effect,
hit
and
points.
you are
Crap.
more momentarily paralyzed. You're unable to move. You watch as the creature turns and shifts, moves within 20 feet of you, but goes right past you, unable to sense you, as before you were restrained and nearly paralyzed. It was in a point that it knows you're here, though. It just can't find you. Another wail builds, creatures, it kind of drifts a little bit further away from where you are, and the cold trail of death that it leaves behind you, you could see creatures that didn't make it out. You watch as a bird just drops dead. Another bird drops dead out of the canopy of trees. You watch as a raccoon stumbling out of the undergrowth, half of its body decayed, frozen, eroded, collapsing, dead nearby. Finally, it drifts far enough away from you. You could feel your feet kind of shift and move. You could feel your body regain its composure from whatever this thing is. It drifts a little further away from you. Go ahead and give me another stealth check, please.
Okay. All right. This is a 28.
28. As you kind of regain your composure, you're shifting, but you're still in a good hiding spot. You watch as after a while it seems to have given up. The howls get less and less. It disappears deeper and deeper into the wood. Before long, you lose sight of it as it drifts away.
All right. Moving away from the area of the caravan, correct?
It seems to be drifting very much deeper into the Blackwood.
Okay, that's good. I'm going to head back
Okay.
with frost on my clothes and blue lips and fingertips.
Eventually, Gulshaw, you see the form of Derek hastily making his way out the edge of the Blackwood and in the direction of the caravan. After a few minutes, he catches up. All of you look to see Derek. His hair looks strangely aged, his facial features withered and wrinkly. His overall physical appearance looks as if something significant has happened to him.
What happened?
Some sort of spectral creature. It was sucking the life out of everything close to it.
I'll cast create bonfire next to him. That way it warms him up.
Bonfire immediately that you can kind of manage and control lights up, and you watch as Derek sits there hovering over it, trying to get. At one point, he even inadvertently touches it. No pain. Pulls his hand back, realizing that he couldn't really feel the heat immediately. But after a few minutes of this, Derek, you begin to feel the warmth coming back into you. Everybody who's around Derek, go ahead and give me perception checks.
Does it look like a greater resto or a lesser resto would be helpful?
Give me a medicine check.
Yeah.
I got an
21.
18.
Okay. What'd you get, Kai?
21.
Okay. Valev?
7.
Max, you're on the wagon. You're free to roll if you want to.
I'm just looking at his blue fingertips going, whoa. Can you feel it? This is this.
Really? Last time.
Okay, so my investigation was 7, but my medicine check was 25.
There's definitely something physically wrong with Derek. Can't quite put your finger to it. You don't get the feeling that either greater or lesser restoration will do much. Gulshaw, what'd you get for your perception?
18.
And you and Kai kind of stare at Derek for a moment as you begin to see some form of writing forming across the brow and ridge of his face. You're watching as some weird kind of Cyrillic writing is now beginning.
Apples in the fridge, babies. Swine.
Who's that?
Yeah, who was that? Who'd it
That
come
was
from?
Kai. But
Oh,
I don't know who she was talking to. It sounded like she was talking to somebody.
Oh.
Nope. Wasn't me.
That was me.
Sorry.
Sorry.
No worries, son.
oh, okay.
As this Cyrillic writing begins to appear for the first time, as he's gaining some of that warmth back, I'll say, Kai, you pick up on the fact that part of his left hand is becoming transparent.
That's not good. Your hand is see-through.
I'll look at my hand.
Yeah, as you hold it up to the light, you begin to realize why you couldn't feel it when you got closer. to the flame is because you watch as 3 of your fingers are now no longer there. They're just wisps of energy as you put your own hand through it. And you're watching this energy beginning to absorb the remaining part of your arm as you're slowly becoming transparent.
Oh shit! I jump out of the wagon
And
and
I
try and get away from people.
dispel magic.
At what level?
My highest level is 6.
Give me a d20.
Yikes.
Yikes.
It's all right, guys. I have an Eldritch Blast ready just in case.
All this from one wisdom
Do I
failure.
add my modifier?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 16?
Nothing happens. Gradually the arm is fading.
Oof.
Mm.
Can
Okay.
I
You
not
watch as
make
the
anything?
you watch as the writing is beginning to now form down his neck and partially underneath his armor.
Can
What
I
did you
try
say the writing was?
Cyrillic?
It's Cyrillic in nature. It doesn't seem to be a language of any sort. It's almost like a series of scarification tattoos kind of forming on it, on his skin.
Would I
There's
have
nothing
seen
I can do
anything
in
like
this
before?
situation.
I mean, you're standing there and feeling yourself becoming something else, Derek, but you're not really sure what's happened. Arena's
Does it
already
hurt?
looked you over. She already gets a sense that none of her restoration skills would matter here. But you guys are beginning to realize something's happened to Derek, and he's fading. He's fading from physical existence.
This was your girlfriend.
Oh, this kind of sucks.
Can I cast Death Ward on him?
Certainly can, just
I
in
don't know if
case.
that. I don't know if that. You know.
Yes, it forms on him. You can feel the energy bind to what's left of him.
From someone that can bestow a curse, does it seem like it's a curse?
Give me a religion check.
Oh, sweet. And where's my religion? Oh, plus 0. So it's a nat 20.
This feels like a curse to you. He's come in contact either with something or near something that radiated a cursed effect onto him. The Cyrillic writing is a series of mumbles and chants in their method of, and wherever his skin begins to percolate and shows the scarification of writing, the translucent behavior begins to start. Then you can see like little pockets of his existence shifting into like white and yellow, cold, like translucent apparition. You're watching as frost coils are beginning to come off of his body, his lower jaw becoming transparent, beginning to affect his ability to talk.
Can you remove the curse?
It's a
'Cause you can-
curse.
Can you remove it?
No.
It's not something you can do.
Oh,
Mm.
but I
I can't, but I don't
I-
have it prepared. I can try
I-
ritually casting it.
I don't hit him, but I touch him with my hammer.
As you touch him with the hammer, the radiant effect of the hammer kind of coalesces, crackles up his transparent form of his body that's kind of like coming into existence. Derek, you take 8 points of radiant damage just from the contact.
Okay.
Oh,
That doesn't work.
Wait. I want to try. And I take out my rapier.
No.
Oh, dear God, no. Please
no.
Everybody starts touching them with radiant damage.
What are you talking about?
Kind of like putting your tongue on a 9-volt battery.
Does it hurt, Derek?
Wait a
I
minute.
I mean,
say-
aside from being cold.
I'd say all the damage I've sustained hurts. I don't know. Is the process hurting, or is the
The process feels strangely disconnected. You feel like it hurts for a moment, and then
Okay.
whatever physical form becomes transparent, it just becomes what it is. But you are gradually feeling this need to let out a wail, a howl.
No.
So you're turning
no.
into him.
Let me ask you something. So, is greater restoration? Does that do anything with curses or no?
Mm-mm.
No.
What about Lord
Checking.
Silverhand? What do you know
Greater
anything or have anything?
restoration.
Go check.
Don't have.
Go
I
check
don't
with them.
have. I don't have remove curse prepared.
Valev,
Can I
go
check
check
in
with
my
them.
how to
Hey, wait,
remove
can you do
curses
it?
for
It
dummies
says one
handbook?
curse, including the target's attunement to a cursed magic item. For greater restoration.
All right, I have a potion, so I'll just give him the potion of
That's
greater
an
restoration.
attunement.
No. Don't waste the potion. I can cast it.
Okay, cast it.
I'm gonna try greater restoration.
As you cast Greater Restoration on him, it appears you've slowed the progress down. Rather than
Okay.
the quick transparency shift, all you've been able to do now is slow it down. This is a
Did I slow
power.
it down by 10 minutes? Because can I remove curse?
I would say you've given yourself just barely enough time to possibly try to remove this curse.
I would like to try to remove the curse by casting it ritually.
Okay.
And
with
I
the-
help her.
I will say all of you, since the wagon, the Chimera Mercantile wagon and everything in tow has stopped, the remaining of the caravan is still continuing on as you guys are dealing with this.
Catch up.
Kai has already set off to warn her father of what you guys had seen, both the flurry of activity. However, they were not aware of Derek's condition. So you can watch as the caravan's gradually leaving. Arena seems to have settled into kind of like her typical focus and understanding. Watching as you all now begin to realize that some kind of curse has invoked itself upon Derek's existence. Arena, you begin to focus. The whole lot of you are sitting there supporting Arena and trying to help Derek in any way possible. The Greater Restoration seeming to have slowed things down. At the end of the 10 minutes, Arena, you look up to see very little left of Derek. A howl and a cry beginning to form in his existence as you cast Remove Curse. And as you cast it, the collision of the effect kind of warps everything around you. And as it echoes out and bubbles out against the form of Derek and encapsulates like all of you surrounding Derek, the bonfire goes out. Just diminished. Goes out as this energy. You watch as the cold essence of the curse begins to uncoil itself from the form of Derek. It almost kind of reels backwards and out of his form and hovers behind him momentarily. You watch as a kind of like dark blackened cowl of a face of this form drifts up and over, and it kind of shifts and floats and looks to the right and to the left. It like detaches itself, and you watch as its form, and there's this disconnect as the unconscious form of Derek collapses to the ground with 0 hit points.
Wow.
Oh, crud.
He's back. The
Make a saving throw.
scarifications are diminished. Give me 1 death saving throw, please.
What do I add to that?
Your con bonus.
19.
18. You're clinging on to the edge, so to speak. You're still unconscious. All of you watching as all that energy and cold dissipates, the form just evaporates up into the sky. Bonfire comes back into
Be the last
existence.
time I'll send him on a scouting trip.
Well, on its own, I'm gonna cure wounds.
Okay.
3rd level.
Otherwise, I would.
Yeah. Cure wounds 3rd level. Where's my d8s?
Where's my
Almost had a
D8s?
wraith in
Where's
our
my
in our
D8?
party.
Oh,
you almost had.
He would have been
I did have Spare the Dying cast on me, didn't I?
a party
Yeah.
member.
Oh yeah, they did.
It was
cast that.
not
Death
Spare
Ward.
the Dying, Death Ward.
Yeah,
You
Death
still
Ward,
have
yeah.
Death Ward cast on you.
So you do come back to immediate conscious with 1 hit point.
1 hit point with Death Ward.
And you're lying
Put
on the
shovels
ground.
back, everyone.
Yeah, you're lying on the ground, kind of sideways. Dudley's kind of nuzzling into your face. Everybody's just kind of staring at you strangely. It's
15 plus 7, so 22.
22 hit points back. You guys watch as Derek begins to kind of sit up, his bones kind of making creaking sounds, his skin coming back with some remnants of pinkish hue. The last of the scarification fades. His corporal form seems to be a bit more animated and a bit more
Do that
formed.
again.
I'm just gonna say this: whatever that thing was, it didn't even attack me directly, and it did this.
Lay on hands
You
for
should-
20 points, more hit points for you.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think you should stay in the wagon and rest.
True.
And
Here's
as
a good idea. Don't touch it.
I got my eyes kind of closed in like a exhausted expression, and I nod my head.
Yeah.
And I'll just pet Dudley and lay down on him.
somewhere off of the darkness, you hear.
Is it close?
Give me a survival check.
It shouldn't be. It was going away from us.
I look that way. I'll start going
13?
that way.
Okay.
29.
There.
Valev, you watch as Arena kind of walks off to the right to peer in one direction. You look to your right really quick, and there's a moment that you see like a frost-like trail off to your right, maybe a couple hundred feet, come into existence and then out of existence. Gulsha, what'd you roll for your... What are you doing, Gulsha?
I'm going in that direction to see if I can find him, and I'll cast Detect Evil.
Okay. You detect some kind of energy form is out there. It's drifting among the few trees that make it this far towards the edge of the Silverhand road that leads into the Maw. But it's painfully aware of you. Every time you shift, it shifts. Every time you try to focus your energy on it, it shifts. And all of you begin to hear. You begin to be able to, all of you begin to be able to see your breaths now.
We gotta go right now.
I don't think we
Let's
can
go,
outrun
let's
it.
go.
You guys start down the way. I'll take up the rear here and see if it follows us.
Okay.
You can
You
already
start
hear
moving.
the Chimera Mercantile wagon moving as Max kind of hits the reins and begins moving back up the trail. Derek inside the wagon. Dudley alongside Ghost and Marina kind of following along. Gulsha taking up the rear. Kai and Valev, where would you like to be as the howling begins to get a little bit louder?
On my horse next
Okay.
to the wagon.
Okay.
Staying, close to it.
Okay. Valev, what are you doing?
I would be on my ram unless I was gonna go up to Max and ask, do you feel cold? Like if it's really cold, does it hurt you?
I don't really feel cold, I think.
You can see a little bit of permafrost on the surface of the sentinel entity that he's attached to. You feel the ram kind of tremble with a little bit of fear underneath you, Valev, as you kind of guide it and having this conversation with Max. Kai, you can feel the cold energy on your horse as well. Gulsha, you're watching as the Chimera Mercantile wagon is moving a little further away from you as you kind of stand your ground. This energy sensing you, shifting, trying to move past you. And every time you shift, it shifts. You shift, it shifts. It seems to be unable to get past you at this point.
All right. I'll just be be on my carpet,
Okay.
and I will make sure that I counter his moves to get into our area.
I will pat my ram's head to calm it.
thing.
Immediately, you guys begin to hear horses as the retinue of Silverhand and Lord Silverhand begin to show up. You hear their heavy horses. All of them neigh, and the breath is obvious coming from the horses. Even Lord Silverhand looking around, wondering what's going on.
I'm going to yell out, "Cover your ears!"
Watches there's confusion. Derek, give me a persuasion check as you begin to yell out. Gulsha, you're on this carpet, and for the first time, maybe out of frustration or not knowing, but looking back, you can see that there's a lot of animated activity from your friends. The sudden realization of this strange, sapping-like energy of this, whatever this creature is. And then you watch as this form begins to drift up and out of some of the underlying canopy of trees and fallen bramble and bushes. It kind of comes out, and as it moves out, it's wailing, somewhat startled and choked as it sees you for the first time. You watch as the grass and the bramble just decay around it as it shifts out and into your area as you're hovering there in the carpet. And every time it moves, you move. Every time it moves, you move. Very presence seeming to collide with its energy, your energy, kind of bouncing off and on this force. Valev, what would you like to do?
I got a 16 persuasion.
Okay. Valev, what are you doing as you're talking with Max? Kai, I'm assuming you're with your father trying to explain to him what's going on.
I'm turning his horse around and dragging him back towards the front.
Okay. The guards kind of recognizing. Yeah, the guards kind of recognizing your panic. Immediately, the retinue, his personal bodyguard, spin him around as everybody just feels this cold emanating. But then as you drift away and Gulsha seems to keep it at bay, the cold kind of fades a bit. And no howling comes as you guys kind of very quickly begin to make your way up this main road.
Well, Shaw's going with us, though, right?
We're not leaving him behind? He's keeping pace, but he's doing something. You're not really sure what he's doing, but whatever he's doing, you feel like it's creating some kind of barrier or resistance for this creature to be able to move. Gulsha, give me a religion check. Anybody else want to do anything while you're kind of managing this escape?
I'm keeping an eye on Derek in the wagon.
Okay.
How much time is going by?
Minutes are passing.
I got a 15.
I don't know if we're gonna have to fight, so I'm gonna take one of the greater potions, or one of the superior healing potions.
Okay. Anybody else?
I got a 15 on my religion check.
Okay.
I'm going to take my ram and go towards the front of our group.
Okay.
In the direction that we're heading out, escaping, and
Okay.
making sure that that path is clear and there are no other spectral forms trying to suck our souls.
Give me perception, Valev.
At advantage because I'm on top of a really high ram.
Nice try.
I rolled a lot of 4s on these.
You definitely pick up on the fact that there are other creatures making a quick exodus. Like you watch as a family of badgers kind of run across your path. There's even a moment you place your hand on the rams that are pulling the wagon. They're trembling. Things are trembling. Like they feel like they're on the edge of whatever this thing is. For you, Gulsha, there's always myth mixed with rumor. There are some discussions of things called lost souls. Creatures that have suffered such a demonstrative curse that they are devoid of both feeling, intent, and are doomed to wander and exercise this curse wherever they go. Always to feel like they might be satiated by consuming the life forms of those around them. But these soul stealers, these creatures of lost soul existence, it's always said that they have 1 foot in purgatory and 1 foot in the plane that they originated from. As you drift closer to this, because you guys did roll a 1, so it's got to be part of the arc. Can't wait to see what this does to everybody's mind.
Wait,
As-
who rolled a 1 for what?
Or what
Yeah,
happened?
can I
Okay,
guess?
talking
Can I
about
guess at it?
Oh, gotcha.
Derek,
Crap.
Derek rolled a 1.
I
As
rolled
you
a 9 for that, so I
seem
what the
to-
difference was.
as you seem to collide with the energy of whatever this creature is, its form begins to coalesce nearby. It seems frustrated by your existence and perplexed. As a very transparent form of Lord Silverhand is
Silverhand.
standing
I knew.
30
Yes,
feet
I
from
knew
you.
it was.
It's
had a
decayed,
Whoa.
droopy skin, its eyes hollowed out, just sitting there, pining, whimpering, frustrated, angry. As it moves towards you, you shift on the carpet in front of it. The radiant effect of your weapon and your existence pulsing out, its cold, lifeless effect pulsing in towards you. Knowing how the Silverhands were coming into existence, you're beginning to realize something very specifically as well. With success comes failure. Perhaps they have not been overtly forthright in their failures. Whatever this thing is, it has the visage and likeness of Silverhand, but its cold embrace of death and its existence, its soul not complete, its soul in limbo, in between two spaces of reality, a broken form of Silverhand floats not more than 30 feet from you as both your kind of like necrotic, soul-stealing energy and your radiant, godlike energy emanating from the hammer that you wield, both forces competing, clashing with each other, just sits there, floats. It wants to wail, but every time you see it about to wail, you kind of shift a little bit closer to it. At one point, it just kind of hovers there, and you watch as it detaches itself from you. It turns and begins to drift back into the direction of the Blackwood, and eventually completely receding away from you, disappearing deep into the Blackwood forest. Give me a quick insight check.
Good thing Kai was not there for that.
Insight. So we got 18. 22.
22. As you feel the carpet kind of turn away and you're making your way back towards the Chimera Mercantile wagon, there's perplexity here. There's confusion, but
Is this something I caused by what I did?
no, you get the feeling that Derek almost became whatever he was. Either this thing tried to latch on to what Derek was and where he was to bring itself into physical existence, and somehow it failed. The fact that Derek was turning into another version of whatever that thing was, which you believe to be a lost soul, that triggered, almost was like a beacon to it. You successfully, and knowing what Derek had said about what the creature was doing, everything's been failure at this point. It's consuming living energy in an attempt to find a foothold, to exist. But all it can do is consume and consume and consume whatever this thing has become. And you could there's just weird kind of like cold chill up your spine as, you know, way off in the distance as it disappears into the Blackwood. That edge of a howl is heard way off in the distance, knowing probably just absorbed another living creature to maintain its form, to maintain its foothold on its in-between reality of this place and wherever it came from. But you are absolutely certain that that visage, that form that you saw, looked like a very old, decrepit, very rotted form of Lord Silverhand.
Who's in the caravan with Lord Silverhand is... Sorry, I gotta look up his name now.
Vert and Tamlin did not come. They are
Okay,
currently,
Vert and Tamlin.
they're currently aiding Brackus in the preparations of making their way to the Jasper mining colony.
So they can all become a huge undead army. Okay, cool. Let's see. What? Yeah, what do you think? 300 guys are going to take on 2,000 guys and live? I doubt it. Okay, so all right, I'll make
Wait,
my way.
are they wearing leather bikinis?
Exactly.
Oh, they might
should
then.
be.
They might.
If they're wearing
Um,
leather bikinis, then they'll win.
The leather zombie bikini
Yep.
from Whist. Is that a
Eventually,
movie?
the Chimera Mercantile wagon finds itself back at the tail end of the caravan. Lord Silverhand recognizes that everyone's kind of made it back. You guys watch as Goldshaw kind of at a 5-foot height on the carpet. Lord Silverhand looking at Goldshaw. That is definitely something to get used to, watching a very large individual in plate mail armor on a carpet. Not something we see. You watch as Silverhand kind of admires the carpet for a moment and reminding you of his panache for searching out relics, both driven by Vert and Tamlin's insistence. But there's a little bit of truth to that as well, as he kind of stares at you. And it's weird for you, Goldshaw, to look at the living form of Silverhand, knowing what you just saw. And you watch as he kind of reins his horse away and kind of signals for his retinue to follow him. Well, whatever that was, I'm sure it can be dealt with. And you watch as they make their way back towards the front of the caravan.
Okay.
Well,
I guess I want to ask him what he thought of it.
You guys are all collectively near the wagon as it's kind of trundling along in the caravan at this point. 2 more of the
Yep.
guards kind of come back, post up on either side.
I'm not going far.
Did he tell us about what it?
I don't know. Did you, Goldshaw?
No. Do you remember what Vert and Tamlin said about bringing back Lord Silverhand? How many attempts did they make?
I don't know. It's
lot.
obviously
A
more
lot.
than. Yeah.
On to different
Why?
periods of time.
I
As
don't think it was like hundreds, but I think it was like dozens.
there's an entity that is called a lost soul.
A lost
It's
soul.
It attempts to bring itself fully into whatever plane of existence they once were in. Obviously, this one has one foot in purgatory and the other in the material plane. The troubling thing is that it was Lord Silverhand. I
Is there-
have a feeling
No,
that
he just went up to the front with Kai.
yes, for Valev, I know.
I stay back now. She's
Yeah, she hung back.
So
Oh,
Shh.
hey Kai.
Yep.
I have a feeling that all these attempts to bring him back that failed must have unleashed some type of energy into this plane and has brought this entity into being. I don't know for sure, but I think that's what possibly caused it.
That seems pretty sad. I'm all bundled up in the back of the carriage. It's still a little cold.
It almost succeeded with you. It almost
Now, if
was
it had
able
turned,
to.
if
was
it had
a-
turned Derek into that, would it have taken physical form,
I,
or would he have just died, or turned into one? Like, does it steal his life? Do you know?
Ooh,
Oh,
who'd I
who'd we
lose?
lose?
Did I lose Cesare?
No, I think we lost. Is Golshaw back?
yeah, hopefully I'm back.
I'm back.
Yeah, I see you now.
Discord
Yeah.
just took a crap.
That was an everybody glitch.
Oh, was it
It
everybody?
was an
Okay.
everybody glitch. Okay.
Yeah,
Where did I leave off?
I think Discord farted.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
It's probably the West Coast heat.
Where did I leave off before I was
You
rudely interrupted by Discord?
Think that
Oh, I think that Derek would have become the entity, and the entity would have been able to become material on this plane.
so it would have stolen his life and been able to physically manifest.
Yes, I think that's why it didn't like
And-
me much. It stayed away from me. It didn't want to approach me, so I tried to keep it
And
away
you don't
from the
even need a
caravan.
shower.
Me? Oh, yes.
You don't even need a shower.
Yes. That's a good one. Sorry, Valev. We all think very highly of you, just not your...
Oh, I didn't want to say
not your
anything, but
bathing
you
habits.
did. Well, you did smell kind of weird. It must get hot, like being in a big metal tin box all the time. It's sticky, but it's all right. I don't hold it against you or anything.
There's that
Every
word,
fox
sticky.
loves the smell of its own hole, as you well know.
Oh,
Oh,
did he say box or fox? I'm confused.
Fox. Fox. Fox.
Well,
Every
I
box.
like yours better, Jason. You dirty little bastard. Okay. All right.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
All right. It's not Tobias. It's Gulshaw. Okay. So. All right.
Well,
So we've dodged that. It's
is it gonna
headed
be
away
okay?
into the forest.
Is he gonna follow us?
I don't believe so. But it headed the
Is it
opposite
gonna
way
be
back
okay?
into the forest, probably to feed.
I meant, is Derek gonna be okay?
Oh, was he ever okay? I think he'll be fine.
Well,
Funny.
so can we get the heck out of here now?
Well, we're moving.
So we keep going with the caravan.
Mhm.
Yep.
The caravan continues
Keeping-
on into the night. No other occurrence happens. As you come down into what is best described as the Maw Valley, you are now on the very edge of the area. And I didn't expect you guys to make it this far. Let me quickly show you what that looks like.
Since I'm in the wagon with Arena and some of the others, I'm going to say this. We're going to have to take care of that thing eventually. It's right on the route going towards everything. It'll be too much of a danger.
Yep.
Yeah, I couldn't get close to it to engage it in combat or what have.
That thing does a lot, Shah. I don't know if you could have beat it on your own. Although, I don't know how much help the rest of us will be either.
It didn't like my energy. It didn't like my hammer.
Well, I mean, you can be really abrasive sometimes, and you're not the most approachable, but I still like you.
So coming down into the valley on the last leg of this very long journey, bit of a relief. Looking down, you can see the massive construction encampment that is spread out along the entire right and left-hand side of the valley. You can see a very large wooden and stone bridge extending over a very large chasm that's in most places hundreds and hundreds of feet in width, except for this one narrow point that you can see where most of the busy activity is going on. It's the site that you're not quite prepared for, that yet, Balama and others have been concerned about. As it's dark, late at night, on the other side of this chasm are thousands of campfires. Thousands of them. And it seems to just radiate and go on
Jeez.
to the very edge of your peripheral. You can hear the noises of construction, almost as if this camp operates 24/7 on this side of the chasm. But on the other side, you can hear voices lifting up into the night of concern and worry. You can hear voices and very heavy kind of like cross between celebration and anticipation playing out on the other side of the chasm. You watch as you drift deeper down into the valley, getting closer to the camps on either side of you, to the right and to the left. And now you can begin to see the massive bridge under the last remains of construction that are happening. You watch as the most strange person you've ever, well, to call it a person's a bit difficult to know for sure, but you watch this form fly over and land amongst some other individuals that are holding huge coils of rope. You watch this bird-like beak, this eagle kind of visage on its body, massive arms and feathery wings kind of flourish for a moment as it kind of grabs these coils of rope and flies up into the air. And these great drapes of coiled rope are now being flung across over to the other side of the bridge. You watch as another one kind of lands, does the same thing. You watch as this busy work continues. And then you begin to watch as the caravan kind of disperses into the different areas of the camp. The construction camps themselves are not that much bigger than a small town, but you can see all the temporary ramshackle construction that's been made, tents bivouacked and set all about, staging points of equipment. And as your wagon pulls in to the final area of the staging ground, for some of you, you hear familiar voices. These are faces we have not seen for a very long time. As a familiar pair of tabaxi come wandering out of the crowd, or walking behind them, another one of those bird-like forms behind the two of them, with its arms crossed, just kind of like staring in interest and concern. Avina, it is so good to see you.
It's so good to see you too.
Where is young Derek? Where is Max? Where is everybody? And it's at that point. Yeah, Derek sits up.
I raise my hand out of the back of the wagon. Over here.
Oh, I see he has done what most humans do these days. He has become a drunkard. This is good. It's fun. No, he's not a drunkard now?
No, we got attacked by a wraith on the road.
A wraith. I am unfamiliar with what this is, but please come, all of you. We have a meal set up. We knew that you would be here. I'm glad that you are here. The young Frostfur has already left to go back to get the last of the caravan to come back up this way. I understand that Gulshah's people are leaving this evening, so we are hurriedly going to get them unloaded. But we have a table of refreshments. We have built, well, it's not fancy like the Chimera, although it's been some time since we've seen it. We've spent so much of our days out here. Brother, if you would, please. Yes, please come with me. It's good to see all of you again. And reasonably happy and healthy. The bird creature kind of turns on its heels to follow as you're all led into this very well, for those of you familiar with SCA camping, it's kind of set up in that kind of style. Lots of pavilions in an encirclement. People coming and going. You see a couple more of those bird-like individuals kind of land their wings. You watch as they pick up a large box and kind of fly off towards the other side of the chasm. A couple of the creatures are kind of like talking to each other in their strange bird-like language. Who is this young man that is with you? I do not believe we know him.
This is Valev. Oh, and I point out, and Max has had a change of form.
Yes, I thought perhaps that was magic of your own. That is Max? Max?
That's Max.
Have changed a great deal.
I'm a statue now.
Well, it could not have happened to a nicer mask.
Yeah. And this is Valev.
Yes.
Hi.
A child of the wood. I am familiar with your tribe. I believe you are part of the Bear Totem tribe, correct?
Yeah.
We have had trading with them in the past. And you watch
really?
as the female tabaxi puts her hand to her chest, to her chin, and to her ear, marking the tribe's call to the wild and the understanding of the mother. And you begin to realize...
I do the same. I do chest, chin, ear, and wave to her.
And she seems
Aww.
very confident and very relieved to see you. So, before we discuss your travels on coming here, as you
What
notice...
does she look like?
She's a tabaxi, but she's kind of like a ginger blonde and gray series of fur. Very trim and thin in appearance, but also wearing bracers of pistols under each of her like rib cage area where she's got pistols face down, which for all of you, this is new. You've never seen these before. For the rest of you, you could see that she's wearing leather armor. She's got a longbow strapped to her back. Her brother, similarly decked out, his gray and white fur, his like stripes like coming across in diagonal angles. He's quickly going about setting up food. One of the bird-like creatures joining him speaks in common, leans over into the male tabaxi. Who are these people? They seem different. And you watch as the tabaxi kind of eyes all of your looks towards that direction. I'm not sure if you're familiar with these kind. They have recently come upon us and sought our aid. They are of the Erakoka lineage, I believe. Their forests long destroyed. Not many of them are left. I believe they have a small encampment on the other side. But we were having great difficulty over the last few weeks finishing the work. Fortunately for us, their skills at flying and handling heavy equipment has afforded us the opportunity to take advantage of their skills and speed up the progress. We expect the construction and the final setting of the planks and the ability to cross to be concluded in 2 days. Lord Silverhand has been very insistent. The foremans work diligently. We have developed and helped crews. We recently have captured a wagon. We were hit maybe 3 or 4 days ago by some rather nasty individuals. I believe you refer to them as slavers. They almost referred themselves to that as well. Well, better I show you than anything else than tell you. She leads all of you over to a wagon that's made of iron and wood, very large in size. In the back of it are crates that have been peeled open, barrels that look very similar to a wagon that you had investigated previously with some strange armaments on them back in the Chimera Mercantile. Uh-oh, who did we lose this time?
Ivar.
We lost Ivar again. It's not windy, is it? Maybe it's the heat. With that, it looks...
we lost Derek, too.
Oh, did we lose everybody? Oh, you know what? We are...
Still here, I think.
I think we're having
I still see Kai, I still see Valev, but we lost Derek and Ivar.
Yeah, but Valev is frozen. So I think we're having...
Yep.
I think we're having another...
There's Valev.
Yeah, I think we're having another one of those Discord issues, perhaps.
I'm still
Kai
here.
is still moving, and...
So
Max
wherever
is-
Valev... Well, technically, I think Valev or Cesare and Ivar are in the same area out there in the desert. Like the same kind of... Right? Because he's out there in Palm Springs, and...
Wait.
There he
There's
is. He's
Valev
back.
Is
Was that your connection that just died on you, Ches? Just like... Well, because I know Ivar's out... Yeah, I know Ivar's out in Beaumont. And I know you're out in Palm Springs, so I'm wondering if that whole area might be having
There's Gulshaw.
some random outages.
Well, it's
Okay.
10 p.m. It's still currently 97 degrees. So
Yeah.
yes, there are a lot of heat things going on right now.
Yeah. I got you on that.
Okay.
That's right. We're about to wrap up anyways.
Only 71
Okay.
here in
We're
Colorado.
Yeah, I know. I was like, we're at this close to the conclusion.
So with
Yeah.
that, for some of you, the wagon that you're now staring at has a lot of similar items that you had back in the other wagon that was captured by Frostfur. And, when he brought the Minotaur slaver into Whist and the
Which is the
strange,
black
the
powder.
strange armaments that you were studying then. This wagon is filled with barrels and barrels of very long, kind of like sticks that are made of wood, iron, and seem to have hammers and trigger assemblies on them. Strange kind of like funnels of iron braced across them. And then she kind of opens up one of the larger crates, and there's just dozens and dozens of what she's carrying, what she calls pistols, underneath.
Can I have one
And she goes,
or two?
the scary thing is there were at least a dozen more wagons like this that made it and got away. This is the one
Oh, no.
that we captured. And that's where we're going to finish tonight.
Oh,
As you guys have
man.
finally made it.
Great slavers with firearms.
Slavers with
Yeah, Earl Dub. We use the trust system. More importantly, because of COVID, everybody misses rolling real dice. So I just go ahead and let them roll the real dice. Now, for some of my future games coming up, my Wednesday game, I am going to come up with a digital dice cam of some sort. Chav Hunter, that I was chatting with earlier on in the day during a chill session, he sent me a link to a Kickstarter that actually allows your physical rolls when you roll to show up on camera, or show up digitally as a result. So I'm going to figure
How
out.
do they do that?
I don't know, but I'm going to take a look at that tomorrow.
Is it a second camera?
I don't know how they do it. I've got to look at the link and go to the Kickstarter and see what that is. I thought that'd be kind of fun if there's a way to do that. Otherwise, the only way for people to see what we roll, is if we, set up a capture of the D&D
Second
Beyond
camera to
digital.
capture.
Yeah, I know, right? So, all right, everybody. Well, it is super hot where we are. I'm sure that it's probably still it's 80 degrees for us outside right now. And I know for Cesare and Ivar, it's in the 90s for them. Now, rumor has it, tomorrow's supposed to be about 10 to 12 degrees hotter tomorrow here. So we're expecting for the first time ever in recorded history to break a June record for heat. It's never, ever been this hot in June.
124, baby, on Friday.
Yep. So
I was in Desert Hot Springs yesterday clearing out one of my houses, and we didn't go out until like 8 o'clock because
Still
at 8 p.m.
100 degrees.
Yeah, it was still 98 degrees at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And it was trying to remember how much it was when we were leaving at like 10.
I mean,
It
the
was still
strange,
so warm.
the
It's like
strange thing
86.
is, and the strange thing for me is I don't actually get hot until it's like 110. For whatever reason, all the years of living in the heat, like today didn't feel hot to me. It felt very manageable, wasn't that severe. And I know the older you get, the more kind of like used to certain weather patterns because where you live over longer periods of time. But being out in the desert now for this long, I'm, I don't have the AC on in my studio right now. It's just the regular air regular movement air that's.
I'm just glad I don't
we
have to
the
wear a
AC.
ballistic vest.
My grandma may have just turned it off.
Well, my baffling's moving a little bit, so the air might be running right now, but I don't have it like cranked down to like 70 or anything like that. Like even when I'm home, my AC usually set at like 82 and it drives close to nuts that I'm not, super sensitive to the heat. So everyone please be careful tomorrow if you're in the Southwest. It's going to be brutally hot.
Hydrate.
Yeah, I wish they would declare a state of emergency and just shut down the Southwest for the next 24 hours and give the grid and everything the day off and kind of hopefully save some lives. But just as I always say at the end of my shows, folks, be safe, be kind, and don't forget to play a game. It's lots of fun. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.